How do I start this? So I was going to make a video discussing just the art on TikTok that's bullshit, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do an overview on why TikTok is a hellscape. And this is coming from someone who spent the majority of their teen years on Tumblr. So without further ado, here is everything wrong with TikTok. Not an exhaustive list, but just the things I could think of. I've been on TikTok twice, and both times have gotten like 5 to 7 to 10,000 followers. I looked up my old accounts, and they were known as micro-influencer accounts, so that's fun. And I really enjoyed TikTok, but there were a few things that really made me hate it. And I'm going to talk about what those are and why they are still a problem. The first thing, the main reason I left TikTok the first time was young queer kids being pieces of shit. Now, let me expand a little bit. I remember young queer kids being really aphobic and being like really biphobic and ableist on Tumblr, but it's almost as if because people are so exposed to so much shit on the internet, the cruelty of teenagers just gets upped every year. The alphabet mafia is what I want to talk about real quick. LGBT plus young queer kids will refer to themselves as being part of the alphabet mafia. And there's many things wrong with that. The main one is, as someone who knows the mafia, who knows people from the mafia, it's not cute. Comparing yourself to people who have dealings with, you know, sex slaves, human trafficking, murder, rape, exploitation of poor workers, you know, oh, this is a safety fee. The mafia is not something to be joking about, like not in like, oh, you should be scared of them, which you should be, don't piss them off. But mainly, why would you want to compare yourself to a group that's so fucking evil? It's just nasty and disrespectful to the people who have to deal with their oppressive power. Now, I understand in some part why people like that term, because it makes them feel quirky and cool, and that it sets them aside from like the Ben Garrison bullshit comics about queer people and like how conservatives talk about us. But there's one thing I will not stand for at all, and that is the summer of 2019 conversion camp jokes. As someone who was almost sent to one, don't cry, and who knows many people who survived them, a conversion camp is not a place for you to go and meet your new girlfriend or your new boyfriend or find your best friends for life. It is a place where you will be starved, where you will be dehydrated, where they will keep you up for hours telling you that you are sinful and beat the shit out of you, and also, the best part of conversion camps, corrective rape, where they will force you to have sex with people of the opposite sex to coerce you into realizing that you're actually attracted to them. What often happens with people who go to conversion therapy and conversion camps is that they either lose all interest in sex and want nothing to do with who they are, even though it might just be romantic feelings or just wanting a family in the future, and they become celibate, or they fake that they're fixed so they can get out, and then they have trauma for life. Look at Lohanthony. That boy, he's not okay. Conversion camps are not a joke. It's how does anyone think that's okay? The POVs, like the endless list of POVs people were making about them, pissed me off to no end. People that I followed and I genuinely admired turned out to really find this funny. How? It also plays into the whole people pretending to be a Jewish person in a concentration camp, which was a thing on TikTok and still is. People were cosplaying coronavirus as a cute Chinese girl. Like, it's messed up. And also they find it acceptable and they're getting praised for it. Were there kids doing stupid shit like this when I was younger? Yeah. But I think, and I might be wrong here, but I think that social media is pushing kids to be edgier than ever before because they want likes, they want attention, they're deprived of social connection, especially in a pandemic, and so they're acting out even more genuinely psychotic behaviors. Because this is so uncool. Like, you're not mentally sound if you're doing stuff like this. Back onto queer stuff. A lot of white people, especially white butch women, calling themselves studs. No, you're not a stud. A stud is a black butch woman. That's it. End of story. You want to reap all the benefits of going out dressed in lesbian fashion, holding your girlfriend's hand in public, talking about how kinky you are, without acknowledging the people who fought for you to exist in public without as much fear as they would have had. Because you still have fear in public of straight people, but instead of taking issue with people calling you out for being racist, maybe actually listen to the people who read queer history. And people who are like, queer isn't a slur. It is. Not everyone wants to use that word. Not everyone wants that word to be applied to them. If you want to be gay and proud, trans and proud, whatever under any umbrella, you need to know history and you need to respect the people who worked so hard for you to have the limited freedoms you have. Another one that I'm just going to talk about very quickly, the kombucha girl and a lot of other people just using black sense and being like, oh, I'm not being racist. I'm just using slang. You're stealing AAVE and you're using a black scent. End of story. It's racist, it's shitty, and it's also very trashy. So there is a lot of content on TikTok that is just straight up abusive. Really abusive pranks, people abusing their children or animals, and when you report those videos, nothing happens. That's another thing that really pissed me off. There was a lot of animal and child abuse. Another thing that I felt uncomfortable with is there are videos of like 12, 13-year-old girls dancing and not, how do I explain this without sounding like a creep? Children dancing to explicit sexual songs. There we go, that makes more sense. And older women telling them, hey, you really shouldn't be doing this. You're basically playing to pedophiles on this app. And these children reacting, oh my god, stop slut shaming me. These older women are not slut shaming you. They are trying to protect you from groomers. And as someone who was a young girl on the internet back in the day and didn't listen to these older women, I really wish I would have, because I dealt with a lot of groomers and a lot of bullshit on the internet, and you need to listen to these women. It's not slut shaming, and you need to understand that. They're not, you being a child dancing like a stripper is not empowering. That's the other thing. Sex workers who, some are like, I can even question if they're sex workers. I think they're like girls who do pole dancing classes, and they're like, oh my god, sex work, blah blah blah, and they promote it to young girls, which is not okay. It's not empowering. It's stressful. As someone who has friends in sex work, it's not fun. It can be for some people, but the majority of people who are in it can tell you that it's not safe necessarily, and that it has a effect on you. Another thing that really upsets me is that people who have been banned from YouTube and other platforms like Twitter for being pedophiles or for hate speech are welcomed on TikTok. TikTok refuses to take down their videos. And it's really exhausting. Community guidelines don't mean shit on TikTok. I reported a video of a guy in a Nazi uniform dancing over a Jewish person's grave, and TikTok refused to take down the video, and then I made a video about it and my video got taken down. It really is insane. Another issue I have is just a general social media issue that I feel like TikTok really encapsulates, and it's the infinite doom scroll. You just keep scrolling because you feel like the last video wasn't satisfying, and you just keep going and going, and then you're lost for hours, and you feel like someone has put you in some kind of drunken, drugged dream state, and it's not fun, and it's just bad. Now I'm gonna get into the personal thing that happened to me, and I'm gonna jump into that. But first, I just want to talk about how the majority of famous TikToks are not original. They're copies of someone else. They're like, oh, I'm doing this recipe, I'm doing this challenge, and that's fine. But there is like zero original content on TikTok. If someone has made a video, it's because it's been inspired greatly by someone else. That's how I made TikTok videos too. And that's why I've stopped. Well, one of the reasons. And a huge issue is people reading stolen tweets. It's just boring and it's dull and it's just theft, especially with the Creator Fund in the US, where people are reading someone else's tweet and then making money from it. It's really, really scummy and trashy. Now I'm going to get into something that happened to me personally. So I used to make a lot of art history and just like history in general, TikToks with like discussing old school music, like classical music, and how people used to write vulgar things, and art history, and how humans have always just been making the same kind of absurdist stuff forever. And that was really, really fun until people started copying me. And here's the thing. I didn't save any of my TikTok videos. I can't prove this, but if you have my old TikTok videos, please post them. Because I know some people downloaded stuff, because I could see in like the interaction stuff that there were some downloads. I would love for anyone who has any videos downloaded of this, or who remember this, because a lot of you follow me because I was on TikTok. So if you can remember this, vouch for me in the comments, please. One of the reasons I didn't want to make this video is because I was like, I don't have proof. Now I'm going to just talk about art on TikTok in general. Really, really bad art hacks. So many people have made videos about them. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about TikTok artists. And I couldn't even do air quotes properly. TikTok artists tend to do this thing where they're like, oh my god, this took me 20 minutes and it's so ugly, oh my god. And then all the comments like,
no, Queen, this is beautiful.
And this is the kind of shit we would see on DeviantArt in 2005. It's pathetic. You know your art is good. That's why you have 400,000 followers. And you can say things like, oh, but I have really bad self-esteem. You're fishing for compliments. You know you're doing it. Being self-deprecating is just making other people feel shit about their art. Because they feel like they don't draw as well as you and they should feel bad about their art. Especially people who be like,
this is such an ugly artwork, I'm making a print of it, it's going to be $2.
You're undervaluing other artists by treating yourself like shit. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about TikTok, and I think this is going to be the end of the TikTok discussion I'll have ever, is that it's not a social media platform. You know that, right? It's an AI social experiment. They're constantly changing the formula, the algorithm, uploading new VR filters and captioning, and you're playing into it. They have community guidelines because that's what they have to do, and they never really follow them. They apply them when they find it convenient. And I don't want to be a part of that. The same reason I don't want Facebook. And I have it at the moment because I want to get rid of some stuff, and there's like Facebook groups that you can donate stuff from, and I don't want things to go into landfill, so I'm there for now, then I'm gone. And just, it sucks, man. The sad thing is, I made a few friends on TikTok, and I was also connected to some bigger TikTok names, including people who, how do I phrase this delicately, were involved with some TikTok drama, including being preyed on by pedophiles and that kind of stuff. It's just not a good place. I'm just really surprised that I'm not mad about people stealing my stuff. I feel flattered, and I find it funny. And I think, like, deep down I'm angry, but at the end of the day, I know that they're fake and liars, and it's just garbage, because the rest of their content is bad and, like, sensationalist. So, I don't know. I just want to be authentic and stick with my gut. I wanna bring back my vibe from 2007 YouTube. Not the homophobia and other crap, but just that Charlie's So Cool-like, Wheezy Waiter. I was going to say early days of Smosh, but I don't like that level of hyperactivity. Just like all of the like DFTBA vloggers, unfortunately, which I don't like anymore, but just that energy of like being in your room, messy or not, just talking and doing stuff that you care about. Hailey G. Hoover, man. Hailey G. Hoover. But yeah, TikTok is a nightmare. If you're still on it, I'm so sorry. My condolences. But I also understand. But at the end of the day, I needed to do what was best for me. And I hope that it slowly dies. Or more, I hope it quickly dies and that people regain their senses. I don't know how to end videos anymore, so I'm just going to say, see you in my next video. Bye bye. Legolas, that's where you decide to sit? On my unmade bed. That's where? For anyone wondering, yes, my house is a mess. And I have a neighbour who thinks revving his car makes him Vin Diesel. But yeah, this is the space. Hashtag relatable, I guess. I don't know, man.